If you're concerned about inflammation in your body, you have come to the right place. I'm going to talk to you today about how to embrace an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, share with you foods that quietly drive inflammation. I'm going to share exactly what inflammation is, why you should care, what the symptoms are, and how to minimize it in your body. So let's jump in. Before I go too far, I want to make sure that you know who it is talking here in case we haven't met yet. I'm health coach Gayle. I'm certified by the American Council on Exercise, one of the leading science-backed coaching certification organizations in the world. And I'm certified as a whole health coach, a personal fitness trainer, and a behavior change specialist. And I've been doing this work now for 12 years. And I am simply passionate about it. My company's Y-powered health coaching, where I help people up level their self-care for greater energy, greater health, and sustainable weight loss, all without anything diet, gimmicky, or extreme. So the inflammation, why should you care about it? I always start with why, because it's a game changer. We don't want to rely on willpower, but when we know our why, it is like rocket fuel for our health improvement journey. So when it comes to inflammation, it's connected to known to be a foundation for all kinds of chronic illnesses, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, asthma, and some forms of arthritis. So if we minimize the inflammation in our bodies, we are less likely to find out one day that we have one of these chronic diseases. So what is it exactly? I always think about it like fire, and there's a reason for that. But it's really is a protective response that our body has when there's an infection. So that's what white blood cells do. They come to the rescue and try to push out whatever invaders there are in the body. It's an immune system response. But the problem is when there's no invaders to fight, what happens? We become inflamed. And there's two kinds of inflammation. There's the acute type that lasts for just maybe a few hours or sometimes days. But the most concerning is the inflammation that lasts months or years and really takes a toll on our health. There's also something called inflammaging. I don't know if you might have heard that term before, but what it is a condition that is super common in women 50 plus who they have a chronic and low grade state of inflammation in their bodies. So it's linked to a weakened immune system and it really ups that disease risk. So something certainly to pay attention to if you're in that category of women 50 plus. So the symptoms, how do you know if you're suffering from inflammation? It's not always clear, but here are a couple things you can look for. Redness and swelling on the skin or any area of the body. Joint pain and stiffness often indicate there's inflammation. We know that added sugar can cause inflammation alone. And if you notice, if you're eating something excessively sugary and maybe the next day you're like, gosh, you wake up and your joints are really stiff, it could be from the sugar intake and the resulting inflammation. It can get so intense, it can often feel like suffering from the flu even. So I just want to share a quick real life story. My client Jean, you can see her in the center image here. When we started our partnership years ago, she was pretty inflamed and pretty she felt defeated. She had tried so many things in her life to manage her weight. And when we met, she wasn't even sure it was going to work. She said, I don't know. What do I have to lose at this point? And she jumped in and you can see in the image here with me holding the pants that she used to wear and are like double her size now. So she's maintained this weight loss for more than 4 years now. And it was through personal positive accountability in our partnership, and she um, changed her mindset and her habits and took a yes, I can kind of attitude through it all and consistently lost weight over a period of time and has sustained it. And she is in such a happier place at this point. So, we're going to talk about the foods that we can minimize and maximize in our diets to either minimize the inflammation or promote the anti-inflammatory properties. But it's more than just food. And I want you to understand too that there's a lot of lifestyle factors that come into play. So if we are not at a healthy weight, that's going to promote inflammation. If we're chronically stressed, that too, because we're always overproducing cortisol, that can have an impact on our metabolism, but also lead to that inflamed state. And then if we're not leading a lifestyle that includes regularly moving at least 30 minutes a day, most days of the week, then we're probably going to be a lot more prone to inflammation states. So those are all things that we can build the habit and choose every day to feel better and to have less inflammation in the body. So getting to the food side of things, because this is something that we can easily shift and pay attention to, have more intention around. So I'm going to go through the list of the minimize, and then I'll share the things that we can try and welcome more into our diet to be less inflamed. So things that contribute, simple carbs, probably not surprised to hear this, but these tend to be the ultra processed foods, the things that very often are comprised of white flour and added sugar. So we definitely want to minimize those. We want to minimize fried foods, deep fried things. Red and processed meats are contributors to the inflammation, and we know are linked to many cancers as well. And then the alcohol and any kind of sugary drink, whether it's alcoholic or not, are going to promote inflammation in the body. And finally, uh, oils that are in the shortening, lard, or margarine category are also going to produce inflammation in your body. And I do want to share one caveat on this list. When we talk about inflammation responses, everybody is different. So you might have a sensitivity to, say, strawberries, whereas it doesn't affect me. So it doesn't mean it's a anti or pro-inflammatory foods. It just might, your body might react to it in a negative way. So it's important to know that about yourself and what foods tend to agree with you and those that don't. So on the plus side, foods we want to welcome into our diets with more frequency and abundance include leafy greens. So this would include things like spinach and kale, red leaf lettuces. The darker, the better. Things like iceberg does not count as a leafy green. So it seems like lettuce, but it's really low in nutrient value. So tomatoes also tend to be quite anti-inflammatory. And again, this might not be true for you specifically, but this is just a general truism. So knowing yourself and how you respond is important. All kinds of nuts. Not only are they anti-inflammatory, but they're nutritional powerhouses. And we need to pay attention to portion control because they tend to come with, they're calorically dense, but on the positive side, they're really going to help with the inflammation factor. Fruit in general, all kinds, also very anti-inflammatory, and fatty fishes like salmon really help as well. And the best oil for anti-inflammatory responses would be extra virgin olive oil. Other ones, not so much, and the oils like the lard and the shortening and the margarine can have the opposite effect. So one other story I wanted to share with you, Lauren, when we met, was not being intentional with her health and her habits and had ones that had quietly added pounds over the years, and she shifted her lifestyle, no diets or anything extreme, just consistency and the encouragement and positive accountability through our partnership. And she's another one of the 26 people in my winner circle who has shed 50 or more pounds through the lifestyle changes and choosing the more whole foods, which tend to be anti-inflammatory. And she's maintained this loss for more than 2 years now, too. So when we think about solutions to these kinds of things and waving a magic wand, I just want to reinforce for you, it's not possible to just do that and have things change. It takes real intention, goal setting. The accountability is so helpful for people making lifestyle changes, because it isn't just as easy as doing that. We have to be intentionally healthy because our environments are always setting us up to be the opposite. So I put together this healthy daily minimums and maximum. So all the key reference points about health are in one place. And these, I didn't make these up. They came from the major health organizations like the American Diabetes Association, the Heart Association, and more. And I would love to share this infographic with you. Just comment healthy daily and I'll send it to you to download. But in one place, you can see the things that we need to be doing every day, such as getting at least 7 hours of sleep, 30 minutes or more of moderate intensity activity, and fiber. And then, but on the other side, there's the added sugar, the sodium, alcohol, these things that tend to drag us down and promote inflammation. We really want to watch and minimize. So healthy daily, and I'll send it your way. So what we want to do is welcome supportive perspectives. You know, the journey is never a straight line to whether it's weight loss or any other kind of lifestyle changes. It's always going to be like this. And that's okay. I just want you to know that that's normal, and that it's the consistency that we want to build, which is way more effective than diving into something with some great intensity. Those kinds of changes rarely stick. So when you shift your habits and your mindset, these things are much greater in terms of lasting change than willpower ever is. So we want to at the front door. We want to find our why, and when we do, we're going to struggle a whole lot less. And when we focus on progress over perfection, it's going to help us stay the course for the journey. And those kinds of thoughts are all mindset based. So I also want to share that we want to move boulders, not mountains. Doesn't matter how strong you are. I don't know anyone who can move a mountain. So if we take things one step at a time, say choosing one thing we're going to do this week with consistency, one supportive habit we're going to adopt, one protective boundary we're going to set, either with others or for ourselves. This is the pathway to consistent progress. I call it CPR, and our CPR muscles are the key for sustainable health improvements. What's CPR? Consistency, prioritization, and resiliency. The consistency, particularly, is where most people fall down, especially if they're trying to go it alone. So what I want to do for you today is help you turn all this knowledge into action that is sustainable. How do you do that? Reach out to me, use the QR code here, set up a private 20-minute chat with me over Zoom. I offer a judgment-free space. There's no obligation, no pressure. Just offering ideas for more clarity in your wellness improvement or getting unstuck from anything that is fitness or health related. $50 value, yours free today. So love to connect with you. And we can also stay in touch in 2 really easy ways. Following me in social media, Health Coach Gayle, Instagram, Facebook. I post daily, inspiring, informative kind of messages. I'd also love to share my wellness blog with you. So just comment blog and I'll be sure and get you connected with that. And I promise not to spam or share your information. So I want to thank you for your time today. I'm Health Coach Gayle of Y Powered Health Coaching. Together, we can make those small, consistent steps for big and lasting results.